My client has a giant fucking cannon. You do not.
Ah yes, similar to the old "I'm a tank and you're not" argument. Your Honor, he looks too cool to commit such a crime.
One of his crimes is looking cool. Your Honor, my client is simply based. Your Honor, the news reports of California being destroyed are false.
Your Honor, let's be logical for a second.
Your Honor, it was merely logical for Shockwave to commit these war crimes, you humans call them as. We Decepticons do not have, as you humans put it, a Geneva Convention.
Your Honor, you can't argue with my client's logic.
Your Honor, my client here clearly said he was dead ass.
Your Honor, my client didn't enslave that poor village. He was being generous and offered them work. Despite his unquestionably superior intellect, the Imperator process has left him quite insane and thus unfit to stand trial for his actions.
Valid arguments. Death sentence!
Your Honor, is empathy not a staple of sound mind? How can one be expected to remain moral when one's personality and empathy is stripped forcefully from them? Not just that, but their very features being replaced by blank parts. Former Senator Shockwave is not fit to stand trial because he was effectively lobotomized by the Senate. Chief Justice Tyrest, it's all the Senate's fault. You see, they took out any morals and made it so that he follows the most perfect logic. In fact, there is nothing he did wrong himself.
All his actions were logical, Your Honor.
What about his verbal abuse to the female Autobots?
That is merely generational bias. Female Autobots did not exist when he was young, and he never understood why someone would favor an effeminate form.
Bold of you to assume he would want a lawyer. If the cannon glove does not fit, you must acquit. Your Honor, my client's actions are nothing more than a defense response to the assault he suffered at the hands of Alita 1.
She punched him in the eye!
Your Honor, I fully endorse his decision to resurrect the Predacon species only because dragons are awesome. War crimes are only war crimes if there are treaties and places to be violated, Your Honor. Don't worry, he's super chill once you get to know him. Your Honor, my client simply engaged in a little bit of tomfoolery. Your Honor, With respect, Your Honor, my client was doing a bit. He committed crimes we do not have names for yet, on a scale which is difficult to even begin quantifying. It was a very long-term bit he was committed to.
My Honor, this here is an alien not of this planet.
Since he was not born here and predates all of our laws, we cannot do anything but ask him to leave for his actions fall out of our jurisdiction. I suggest we simply hand him over to his fellow Cybertronians for them to give him his proper punishment due to their laws and jurisdiction. He's high.
Get out! Your Honor, I know he burnt down the orphanage and killed everyone inside, but he was doing the most logically thing. Wouldn't you do the same in his situation? Your Honor, it was in the name of science. And also, he is a 20-plus foot tall robot that turns into a giant gun. You aren't.
Your Honor, it was just a really funny prank.
Your Honor, it is clear that the female Autobot set him up to fail miserably.
Your Honor, it would be illogical for him to be in jail.
Your Honor, he's a badass purple robot.
Your Honor, need I bring attention to our client's left hand?
Your Honor, my client needed to find a way to be a senator again.
I ask you, are war crimes really war crimes when you are superior?
I say no, they are not.
Your Honor, my client's only crime was loving America.
Every argument you can make, we can counter. Hope you have enough water to keep your throat from going dry while competing with the lawyer of a supercomputer. Shut up, Your Honor, you weren't even there. Your Honor, please turn your arm into a gun and shoot him. And then me.
Your Honor, allow me to handle this.
It's Knockout's fault. Precisely, my... What?
Your Honor, my client has huge boots. I mean, some serious hunks. A real set of badonkas, backing some doba hunkaroos, massive dahongabongaloos, big old Tarhungara cougars. He's Shockwave. His defense is that he's awesome. Your Honor, my client is simply a little guy. A bit of a rascal, perhaps. In some circumstances, maybe even a goofy fella. The only crime this innocent goober is guilty of is tomfoolery, Your Honor. I rest my case. Everything my client did was supported by sound, logical reasoning. His actions were in the best interest of Cybertron, Earth, and the galaxy as a whole. This case is clearly being brought against my client because he only has one eye. That is clearly discriminatory behavior from the two-eyed Autobots. I'm sorry, what? I don't know who this Whirl person is. Your Honor, my client is guilty as fuck. He did that shit, no question about it.
Your Honor, this guy has no remorse and is the literal devil.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury,
I'm just a caveman. You won't frighten me.
Your Honor, he was simply being a little goofy. Even silly almost.
Your Honor, all this man's actions were guided by only logic. You can't punish someone for doing what's logical and useful to his race. Oh, what about those dead bots? Progress has a price.
But, Your Honor, while empathy is what we consider to be the normal, it is not always the logical. Think how many logical decisions could have been made were it not for us choosing to spare life and show empathy to other creatures. One's truest logic is dictated by what it views as the true best form of action, first and foremost. This being a truth of all life. Former Senator Shockwave was simply following through with his cold and heartless logic. I would like to motion with the court for this case to be dismissed on the case of legal insanity, and bring the Senate to the court on the charges of medical malpractice on former Senator Shockwave. Your Honor, my client may be guilty, but if you charge him as such, everyone in this room is going to die or wish they were dead. Your Honor, my client pleads oopsie daisies. He promises not to do those specific crimes ever again, unless, of course, it is logical to do so again.
Your Honor, my client is nothing more than a scientist. He's done only good to the Decepticon cause.
Your Honor, his freedom is only logical.
Your Honor, my client only has one eye. He can barely see what he's doing.
This whole case is an attack on the disabled community. Shame on you all.
His logic is undeniable. Your Honor, the titties on my client would keep him from committing the crimes you suggest, as he cannot see 48 square feet in front of his booba. I'm crying, what the f***? Your Honor, he's Shockwave. How the fuck did you even arrest him? You've seen his crimes. Do you really want to piss him off? As his representative of court, I say nah, this. Your Honor, I would rather defend Megatron or Airachnid. Sir, big sexy robot equals good guy. Just give him something to learn to conquer. Your Honor, I plead insanity.
On what grounds?
On the ground that he hired me to be his lawyer! Your Honor, I would like to request that the court see me disbarred. My closing statement, with pleasure, Your Honor. I believe it's in your best interest to make the right choice.